told myself I was gonna be better at vlogging this coaching trip. Here I am without my vlog camera, just my iPhone, but it'll do. The girls are here. Where's the boat? They should be coming up around any second. We are hopping off land, jumping on the boat. They're coming to pick us up. We did this last time, and I feel it is equivalent to if I were to land at a party in a helicopter. I'm so freaking excited. This is like my favorite trip of the year. Let's get into it. Yay! Yeah! Riley, show the boat what we got.
All right. Welcome to the Ocean Dreams, the peanut gallery galore. We got a set rolling in, the peanut gallery. Judges are thick. The boys better be fucking doing real turns. Got some real spray. Come on, quit playing. Got a pretty tight fucking lineup of judges right here. You better impress. Fins out the back, airs, barrels, let's see it.
Picked up where I left off, took my car and drove to the dock. I thought you'd be there, but nothing ever comes so easy. Nothing ever came that way. Not if I'm not ready to step beneath the pain. I count my days in envy, wishing I could be that way. Step outside my own emotion, and let's begin to play.
You were good. Like, so this was good. You took all your speed. When you got to the bottom, you lost a little speed because you were like, oh my god, I'm on the wave.
Yeah.
And then here you're like, okay, I need to go up. This was good. Rotate down before the whitewater, and then you're in front.
The way she could have made it.
Yeah, but
Like,
she
just
would have
lean
had
forward more.
to get back in the wave. She would have had to stay on this tow rail a little bit more, and like carve down the wave instead of turn and then like extend the body and stop at the top. Nice. So, Sunday, I'll wait to correct you on this because you probably did it later. But remember when you said on that last wave, like, oh, I went a little higher? That was just because you closed your shoulder a little bit early.
It is, what are we, day 4 now? We're day 4 and I've already lost my voice again. This is like a trend in every vlog. I have no voice. But I wanted to show you guys, we got the new t-shirts that I talked about in the Morocco vlog. So we have branded Surfer L t-shirts on every trip. Shout out to the Stoke economy. Hand-drawn art from one of the girls that came on the trip. We've got a bit of a storm on our hands.
Oh my god, look at this!
Oh my god. Dude, I heard all of you guys from downstairs scream on that one wave. The girls are just singing. Meanwhile, Tim and Kayla are downstairs shitting themselves. The vibe is so different down here than up there.
What are they doing?
They're singing. They're vibing. That was lit. Yeah? This will be so gotta get a fish after that one. Come on, Riley. It's a fish? Yes. God, it's actually a fish. Hey! Hey! Dude, we got the whole village. Sick. Got her done. Hey.
Trees, your yellow leaves move me.
Wow.
Dancing moves your painted red shakes the room. When I get there, I'll let my feet roll. When I get there, I'll break in your arms, I'll lose control. When I get there, I'll know the answer. Let me know when I get closer.
Midway through the trip, and lucky us, we have served macaronis I think 3 out of 5 of the days that we've had so far. Oh, and now we're on to some rights. We're at Roxy's. This is one of my favorite breaks in the Mentawais. Go girls, go Chloe. Look how stunning it is. Yeah, Chloe. Wow. Dude, nothing beats being out alone in the Mentawais, and we've been so stoked, getting so many long days, sunrise to sunset, fun 2-3 foot rippable waves. Man, it's been a trip, but let's see how they go on the rights. There's a lot of regular flits that have been waiting for this. The goofies have been loving it. Oh, it's gonna be a good day.
Winterland, you're my sailing ship. Guide me when you head for your trip right out of this.
This trip 1 to the Mentawais really challenged the girls because the conditions were actually pretty challenging. I was really inspired by how determined they were and how passionate they were, just every single day pushing themselves and trying, even when the waves were pretty difficult. Most of the days were really beautiful, but there was a few days that they really pushed it, and I think that really pushed them to have some insane progress at the end of the trip. So first we have Fred's. When it comes to my coaching, I realize that some girls come to me with habits that they need to break, and other girls come to me with mental blocks that they need help with. And then there's just small technical things that some surfers take really well, and they're immediately hearing a cue and they're switching it right away. Fred's was one of those surfers that had the habit of staying way too far on her back foot. You can see on a lot of these waves, she doesn't have a lot of control or speed of the board. So it did take Fred's a while on this trip to break that habit. In fact, she got probably the best wave of her life on the very last day of the trip. She was also battling a sickness, but man, did she come to play on that last day. It was really cool to see her just so filled with joy after this wave. We were trying to transition her to just leaning more on her front foot, and she damn near did that on the last day, and she was flying down the line. She even got inside a massive barrel, which was so cool. She ended up jumping off. A pretty natural first reaction when you get inside a barrel for the first time. But yeah, she definitely came to play on the last day, and you can see how happy she is at the end of that wave. So that just makes my day. The guy did tell her to go. All of the drop-ins you will see in this video were consensual, I promise. So then we have Rin. Rin actually, Rin and I have been internet friends for a while. Maybe you follow her on TikTok or Instagram. But I hit her up really last minute. I saw her post a story, asked her if she wanted to come, and I knew she hadn't surfed a lot. She actually came on the trip having never really done a turn before. And shortly after the first day, I realized that her equipment was not good. It was holding her back a ton. So she ended up borrowing another girl's board, and it was so much better for her. Rin on day 1 is kind of a natural athlete, but her board, as you can tell, it has no rocker in it, so she's forced to use her back foot for everything. And although she is angled down the line and she's getting there, she was creating some habits that weren't going to help her in the future when she gets on a better surfboard. So we quickly changed her to another girl's board. You can see the different board here in this shot, and although she's still kind of using her habits from the old board of being too much on the back leg, this was a huge progress because we were kind of
changing everything she knew about surfing. And she actually ended up staying as well for the second Mentawaii trip. So stay tuned to see her final progress after spending 25 days with me out here, because it's pretty crazy. That will be in the next YouTube video. And then we have Val. Val was also very coachable, and she's only been surfing for, I think, 3 years. I could be wrong, maybe 2 or 3, which is really incredibly impressive. And she had a really good basis of what to work off of. So we were working on her just like being a little bit more aggressive with her arms and her technique on her turns. And then once you get the technique dialed and that down, then you can just work on being taking more risks, hitting the section in different places. So towards the end of the trip, we were working on just being more aggressive in the turns, and she started throwing some spray, and she was really feeling it. So that was really cool to watch. Yeah, you can tell towards the end of the trip on this clip too, she's pushing a lot more with her back foot and giving just a lot more aggression in her turns. And for her, that was a really big progress. As well as on the rights, she was really listening on the techniques we were giving her with her takeoffs and her bottom turns and carrying that speed through the turn. So that was pretty cool to watch her get super excited and actually learn to like rights, because she's living in Bali a lot of the time, and she was saying she hates going right, and after this trip she was loving it. So I always love when that happens, and girls go from not liking to go frontside or backside, and then suddenly they're loving it. Amanda, we were calling her our little right-hand warrior. She's clearly regular foot, and she hates lefts. She had it in her mind that she couldn't go left. I can't go left, I can't go left, I can't go left. And I was like, girl, yes, you can. You have the ability. So you can see in the beginning clips, she was just always kind of positioning herself too deep and getting stuck behind the section, kind of getting hung up with the lip. So we just mainly worked on picking better waves, being in a better position, and then we were slowly trying to break the habit of her pop-up. That was holding her back slightly on the lefts. We got to the rights, it was like I was trying to tell her to be more patient, get good, bigger, better waves, but she was just so happy to be on a right that she was catching every single wave she could, which I'm not mad about. Then we have Laura, and Laura came on the boat with massive mental blocks. And surfing, I would say, is pretty much 80% mental. Coaching, when it comes to coaching, like if people have mental blocks, like that is gonna hold them back way more than changing something about their technique or where their arm or their hand is going. So she came on the boat with massive mental blocks, massive amounts of fear. She's she only surfs when she goes on surf trips, so she doesn't get to surf very often. And she was struggling kind of to paddle into waves, and she would bail last minute. And so we really worked on that, and she had the most amazing transformation. And you can see on this last day, she was charging. These are the biggest waves she's ever been in her life. And she also stuck around for the next trip. So stay tuned to see how much more she progressed with her 25 days out here in the Mentawais in the next vlog. Next, we have Sunday. Sunday, at the ripe age of 19, she was such a pleasure to have. And you can see that she really understands how to move the board. Her board movement is really well. She's getting down the line. But she was always kind of outrunning the section and wasn't taking her time to start to learn how to do turns. So she also really, I think, was underestimating herself in her brain, in her head, of her abilities and the wave size that she could handle. And once we helped her realize that, we actually were like, look, Sunday, your board's holding you back. Your mind is holding you back. Like you're really moving the board really well, and the board you're currently riding is holding you back. So we actually put her on one of Tim's boards, and which was much more responsive than her board. And she started moving that one around, feeling really good, going for turns. So then from there, it's just all up and up of working on her arms and putting herself more at risk on the sections. She also stuck around and hung around for the next all-girls boat trip. And again, her progress was crazy. I mean, anyone's progress with 25 days in the Mentawaii is gonna like soar, but you're definitely going to want to see that in the next vlog as well. Then we have Rosie. Rosie, initially coming into the trip, had voiced to me her concerns. She was like, I don't think I'm ready for it, but like mentally I'm ready, but I don't think my level is there. And I'm always gonna kind of coach people at their potential, not at their level. So she was like, I think I can handle it. I really don't want to miss this opportunity. And I was like, cool, send it. I think you can handle it as well. She definitely could handle it, and she actually killed it. I've never seen someone so passionate and so determined. I think there was one day, the last day, when she got her best wave of the trip. She stayed in the water for like 4 hours, and she was like, I'm catching a wave, and she got the wave of her life. And then we have Dommy. I met Dommy a while back. She works at the Abu Dhabi wave pool, so she's used to surfing like really good waves, but in a pool. And as we know, that's very different than the ocean. So she had really good base level, good technique, really good bottom turns. Like she was one of those people that we coach more on the technical side of things. And when you get to that level of surfing, coaching becomes a little bit harder because you've established like how you surf and you're so used to it. Your habits are kind of ingrained in you. She didn't have any bad habits we were trying to break. It was more about teaching her about like doing the right maneuver on the right section. And she was even going for some barrels on the last day, and she was charging, and I think we really improved small things like her rail game and her choice of maneuver on the section. So that was really cool to see. And we have Chloe. Chloe was one of those surfers that has some habits that we were trying to break. The way she was standing on the board was kind of limiting her. And so we were teaching her more how to move the board to get speed and trying to change the way she was standing on her board. We actually ended up like removing a bunch of the wax from the top of her board because she was putting her front foot way too far forward, and actually worked well. You can see after footage, she's moving the board down the line really well, getting speed. Her leg positioning is a little bit better, and she's also leaning into her turns a little bit more. Chloe also had a habit of putting herself too deep on a lot of waves, so repositioning on a lot of waves was very important. This is yet again another consensual party wave. But I really liked how Chloe surfed this one. She was a little bit more patient on the wave and took her time when leaning into her turns. So we have Ello. Ello is, oh my God, sweetest human you'll ever meet. She also, kind of like Rosie, had voiced to me initially that she was like, I'm not quite sure my level is there yet, but I really want to try and put myself out there. And I think surfing is a sport that you always have to push yourself out of your comfort zone. So I was all for that when she decided to come, and I'm so glad she did. A little bit nervous of big waves and taking off and kind of losing her speed, not really angling down the line too much. She's used to surfing rights as well. So the lefts were kind of a new thing for her. And one more consensual party wave. The last day, she got the best wave of her life. You can see she's moving the board, getting down the line, flying with speed. And yeah, we had a little moment, cried in the water together after that one because it was so special to her. And that was like a really cool experience. One more little piece to add to this is I think with surfing, there's a lot of factors. There's mental, and then there's physical, and there's also emotional, and it can really affect someone's progress. So whether or not you see progress, like physical progress, every single day, it doesn't typically happen in surfing. A lot of it is just how you actually feel, because that will heavily affect every single surf session you have. Whether you don't feel confident or you feel like the waves are too big for you, like that's gonna come first priority over what you're actually doing on the wave. That's what I feel like is more the root of what we work on these trips, as well as surfing perfect waves and working on technique and things like that. But the biggest, most tough transformation you're ever gonna make in surfing is going to be emotional and mental.
Unreal last day.
What the fuck?
Thank you, Mentawaii. This is why we keep coming back.
I wanna keep you in an honest place, 'cause you've been hiding for 1,000 days. Lower level in your parents' place.
Wow, guys. Okay, you're gonna have to pardon my voice because I feel like every girls' trip I finish with no voice or I'm sick. So all of you guys watching these vlogs of my girls' trips must be like, why does she sound like that? I'm just always no voice from yelling and screaming for the girls after the trip. But we're back in Padang now. Have a look at my view. I am always kind of choking back tears after these trips because they just warm my heart so much. But actually, surprising turn of events, we have 3 girls that are staying and sticking around for the back-to-back trip, which I have in 3 days, which we will depart from Padang here just in a few days. So they actually extended and are staying. So we have 14 girls on the next trip. So that should be interesting, but obviously, like, I'm so stoked about that. I think I would be crying already if all of them were leaving right now. So yeah, we have 3 days here in Padang, and then we're back out there for another magic trip. Mentawaii just always keeps you wanting more. That last day will give me chills. I'll think about that day for a long time. So if you're interested in booking this boat, Ocean Dream Surf, I will always stand by it, and I book it every year for good reason. So reach out to me if you'd like to book it, and yeah, comment below, get on my email list, follow me on Instagram. This trip definitely spread the word a little bit more, so I'm gonna have to release my 2026 schedule soon, and I have a feeling it's gonna book out pretty quick. I literally just responded to like 50 emails this morning from girls inquiring, but I'm all sold out for the rest of the year. So pretty freaking grateful for my life and my job right now. I will see you guys on the next girls trip in a few days. Thanks for watching. Make sure you like and subscribe. And yeah, lots of love, a lot of gratitude right now.